In the last video, we'll explore a quite unique feature of Tickernomics platform. It has a concept of user content, and if you see, I'm clicking through all of this and I can see all kinds of reports generated. These reports are actually HTML documents or pages, and they're accessible directly from the platform. They also have a unique URL. If you go to the bottom of this, you have this thing called permalink, and if you click it, you can see that it has a full URL that you can like use and send to friends and so on, and it will be there. So we'll learn today how to actually generate custom HTML pages that can be hosted on Tickernomics, and you can share it with anyone with the world essentially. Google can find them and so on. So it's pretty cool. You can do pretty advanced pages. So obviously the pages you just saw are very simple ones, right? Just a report. But look what is possible with this platform. If I let me close that and let me just copy this, open a new tab. So if we go static and then go to one of the pages of companies, not this one, hold on, company, let's try Google. Yeah, so this page was generated by a script on Tickernomics platform, and it even has search where you can open pages for other companies. So this is pretty advanced page that was generated by the script. And for those who don't know HTML, that's fine. I will quickly explain what HTML is. HTML is really just specific, you can say, format in which you can create textual documents that browsers can understand and display. They usually have these standard sections like head and body. And of course you can Google about it or watch million videos how to do that, but the main point is it's very simple concept. You just create this special text. H4 means header 4, level 4, so like it's a medium size or maybe slightly smaller size header. And here I typed it, right, saved test HTML, and I open it in my browser here, and here's your header. And you can maybe copy this and add header like 1, so this much larger header. Larger or bigger. So here is your bigger header. So that's pretty much your HTML, right? Now each tag in HTML can have an ID, so you can have like ID to it can be any text for ID, so any to, and you can have another ID for a div element. So div is another type of element. Divs are very important in HTML. I'll explain why. What they don't do headers, but what they do, they can separate document into sections. And div here has a ID, parent ID, while the child here is header. It has a different ID, any two ID. And using these IDs you can kind of address different elements in HTML document. So this is pretty much all you need to know about HTML at this point, and let me show how to generate some content like not as advanced as this but similar content. So let's go to lesson 10 code. There is really just two functions for static content. Clicked wrong tab, and they are under section static content. Actually 3 functions. This one adds a template, this one clears the page, and this one adds something to the page. And of course this is only really function we'll use. Well, no, we actually do need to call clear just to make sure we start from scratch every time we run our code. So let's call the page test2 test 10 because it's a lesson 10, right? We can call it lesson 10. Let's call it lesson 10. And then we will call add to static page. And of course, every time you need to use the same name now, lesson 10. Parent ID is what I just explained here about these IDs. Just wait with it. There is no parent ID right now, so you just put empty string. Now the next one is tag type. That could be h4 or div or many other HTML type tag types that there are there. So let's call this one div. So we'll add a div, and then you have a style. So style is something that you can specify for a div, and in this case I don't like hold all styles in memory, so let's see some HTML styles for background color, right? Background color. I want to have a different background there. So, and you can see that this is a background color, and then you can specify the color you want. So let's do like red, for example, and then the content itself. So div usually doesn't have any content, so that's it. Now the function returns a new ID. Every time you add an element, a new ID is created. Essentially this ID is auto-generated, these IDs, and that's what we'll keep track of. Local div ID. So this is a variable that will hold that ID. Now adding just this will not do anything, so let's add one more thing to this HTML. We will add to lesson 10 HTML h1, header 1, right? And we'll not do any styles for it, except no, let's not do any, and we'll say hello world here for the content. If you read, the last one is the actual content. Now the other thing we need to do is to specify the ID, and in this case this will be the div ID. So we'll add hello world h1 element to this div. Okay, save and run. Now let's see if we got our content. I see it right there, lesson 10, and you got your hello world and this one. So let's open the permalink, and here's your full URL from Tickernomics that you can send to anyone. And if we now also right click and click view page source, we can see that we have our head and the body, and here's your auto-generated ID. And remember, we specified the background color for the div. Here's your background color for the div, and here's your h1 element with its own unique ID, and here's your content hello world. So that's pretty much how you can generate any pages. Now this in itself is not interesting, but let's do something interesting now. Let's do a for loop like we always do for all the tickers, and we'll just list all the companies. Ticker count. Okay, just as we did in previous lessons. And instead of printing anything, we're actually gonna call this stuff here. will not do header, but use another tag typed called paragraph p, and for the content we'll use the actual ticker that we just retrieved, right? So let's see what happens. Done. Let's go to we don't need this, we don't need that. Let's refresh this page lesson 10, and look how red this is. And I got this giant page, HTML page with all these companies listed there. It's so red. Oh. So yeah, we can actually do it in all kinds of other ways. We can insert some icons if we want and do some other things, but that's for advanced guys who know HTML better and so on. So but this is like the idea. Just let's, the only thing that bothers me is this red color, so let's do maybe blue. It's blue, but it's still kind of aggressive, right? Let's keep it white, and we can actually specify color of each ticker. Color, and we can do like, I don't know, blue color. So it will be white background and blue text. Oh, much better. So that's the idea. Of course, you can imagine you can add more web properties to this, and remember, you can go all the way with very advanced HTML pages if you want to. That completes our course of 10 lessons. Thank you guys. Bye.